It sounds so good. Our 69 MGB is up and driving, but it's not making full power. It's making boost, but doesn't have the fuel system to support it. This thing will not stop making boost. So today, we're gonna put the proper fuel system on it, and we're gonna put a hood on it. Yeah, because this is hideous. This is not okay. It's fun to drive, but this just, no. I wanna have some level of class with this MG. After all, it has wire wheels. We must have lost a cylinder. Today is the day where we're gonna find out exactly how much boost this little KO4 turbo off of a Mazda CX-7 is gonna make for us. We're gonna completely shut off the wastegate and the blow-off valve and let her eat. So let's find out exactly what the maximum boost this little guy's gonna make for us is. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna rip off this chrome spaghetti on top of our engine. Then we're going to properly route it. Then we're slapping a hood on it and going to take an angle grinder to it so that it fits. And ideally, the only thing sticking out will be this turbo. Let's get it. What the heck did I do here? Ugh.
Knees weak, arms are heavy, tearing apart my chrome spaghetti.
Skewer.
Is your valve cover leaking?
Oh yeah, probably.
Brother.
Everything's leaking.
Brother, that's a puddle.
Well, it came from the factory that way.
Well, that's probably true.
Oh no. It's a telltale sign that we've had a Chrysler 3.6 in here recently. All right. Oh, look at this. That's exactly what I needed. Oh, this is ghetto. Now we're getting froggy. Our boost gauge line is right where it needs to be. Look at that. I would imagine it's not proper to run your boost gauge off the same line as your blow-off valve, but yeah, let me know if that gives me like an improper reading or something. Run a good old zip tie through her. There we go. That is a fuel pump that we need. Well, that is a fuel pump we need. This is Holley's fuel kit designed for their EFI systems, but it's perfect for turbocharging a carbureted engine. Fortunately, later we are going to put an EFI kit on it and we can use this exact same fuel pump and fuel kit. See, this is actually my return running to the fuel inlet, and we're probably gonna do the exact same thing on the other one. We need that combobulator right there. Then we'll stick it on that one. These are two different sized bolts. Oh, just go straight into the floorboard. So we'll put it right about there. Oh, hello. That went flying. We lost one of our washers, but we'll be all right. Now, this regulator works off of an internal return here, so that's what this line goes to, and I don't really want it pointed towards the firewall, so I'm going to turn it around to the other side. And the torque on AN things are not that high. You got to make sure you grease the fittings as well whenever you're dealing with any of these. They're made of aluminum. Like I mentioned, this has a return feed coming through the bottom of it. What it does is that fuel pump's making anywhere from 40 to 70 psi going straight into this, but that carb only needs, say, 4 psi while running at idle. So every bit of fuel that's built up in that pressure that it's not using gets sent straight back through that line into the tank. And I'll have a link in the description for this exact fuel pressure regulator. And she's on. Alright, now I'm going to climb under here, take out all the old fuel lines, and we'll move them over to the red one. Ha-ha! Let's try and not do what the last guy did. Evidenced there. Ow, that's tetanus. All right, now we have the return line plumbed under the car, roughly. We're gonna zip tie it in place per usual. Now what we have to do is fit this guy, this is your return line, into the filler neck, which is probably not the recommended way to do it, but that's what I did on the other one and it worked wonderfully. So this is our filler neck. This is where the fuel goes in when you fill it up at the pump. What we're gonna do is do exactly what we did on the last one. So I'm gonna drill this hole, install it in, and see you guys in a second. And this is done. You can see right here, we have it plumbed out on the side. We'll run the return line straight through there somewhere, maybe through that rust hole, into the fuel pressure regulator. Now we got to run the lines, run a couple wires to the fuel pump. We'll be good to go. You can see here exactly how we did it. Finally, the day is here. I've been trying to find an excuse to use this thing for a year now. Oh. Yeah, look at that. And to prevent our fuel lines from being cut, I think that'll do. All right, here's our return line, and now we can remove our dangling fuel pumps. That's one that came on the car. It's the one I put on because I thought it was bad. Turns out it was just a rust hole in the fuel line, so, you know, that's cool. But now we can get this guy off and don't have to worry about it catching speed bumps anymore. Oh, all right, there's one and there's two. What was this guy? A faucet. Shoot, I could put this on my sink at home. All right, boom. Now I think our fuel pump would look rather dashing right on top of all this rust. What do y'all think? Just kidding, don't care, I'm gonna send it. Gonna extend our fuel line from the stock one so that it reaches the inside of the trunk. Then hood, and we'll see how much boost she makes. Next time you guys are working on a car and you're like, wow, what I'm doing right now is stupid, just remember, Austin is currently doing heat shrink with a flame right beside an open fuel line. So it could be worse. I accidentally cleaned my entire phone with gasoline. I'm gonna assume that's antibacterial or something. Austin, before you started doing this, I sure hope you disconnect the battery. Oh! Austin, I really hope you're not gonna use an impact on that little fuel pump. What? Me? No. Very clearly gets a lot of water back here given the rust situation, if you didn't notice. But I was gonna drill some holes so it can drain the water, but I realized there's really no need for that when nature hath provided my drain holes. All right, this is our high pressure line going to the regulator. Why are these bolts loose? What the heck? They're not loose, they're just like not right. The longer you look at anything on this car, the worse it gets. You know, I got it for $1,000, so. Guys, this is your reminder to not buy zip ties anywhere unless it's Harbor Freight. Because you can get a pack of like 100 zip ties for like $2, $3. Like if you guys are buying them anywhere else, you are crazy. We got to get this thing to the dyno. All right, now we got that all tidied up. Time to go to the front of the engine and button everything up there, and then we can let her eat. So now we got everything hooked up. We can run probably 50 PSI through this glass fuel filter here. Just kidding, we're taking that off. I know a lot of you hate those things. I've never had a problem with them, but A lot of you guys are like 70 years old and I've had 5 of them blow up on you over that time period. So just throw that there. And then this guy, that's gonna be too short. All right, I had to make a quick run to the auto parts store to get some more fuel line because I did not have enough. Everything looks to be good. Everything's all snugged up. This is your adjustment screw that adjusts the fuel pressure. You just loosen that nut and then you can move that with an Allen key and it goes up and down, but it's already set up from the last one, so everything should be right. All I gotta do is run a boost line and then she should be ready to make full boost, and then we can get it to the dyno. I have this handy dandy, I was gonna cut it, but it's already cut. Hopefully this is enough. Oh, don't fall. I'm just gonna pull this old cap off. This is where we're gonna run it from now. Hopefully it reads boost somewhere in there. Is that gonna get in the way? Nah, we're good. Not that I'm using the choke anyways. It doesn't have one. It looks like this is gonna be just long enough to go right on there. Wada bang. Perfect. All right, we're gonna turn the ignition on and see where all it leaks from. Not the best shot in the world. I'm working with the equipment I got. All right. Hey, all right, we're running 6 PSI right now. Nothing's leaking yet. And you can hear our massive pump back here running. I'll make it look a little tidier later on, but for now we just gotta get to the dyno. But you can actually hear the pump here. Let's crank it up. She's running a little rich. I wonder if it's overflowing a little bit into the actual intake. Hopefully not. Might have to drop that down to like 4 PSI instead of 5. All right, we got a problem here. Hopefully you can hear me. When I rev it up, it actually drops like 2 PSI. I'll show you. That means that is not the port that I used previously. So I'm gonna try and run it from here. All right, we got it on there. Let's see if it fixes it. Much better. So now we have it on, but we don't know if it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. So the only way to find out, since I don't have the fuel gauge mounted on the inside of the car, is I'm gonna do something dumb. I'm gonna use this suction cup phone mount. I'm gonna mount my phone right over it, and hopefully it doesn't go flying off and I bust my phone. Yeah, let's mount it up. Should be able to put it like right there. All right, let's see what happens. You guys will be able to see if this is working. All right, first gear pull. I'll try and get it to 6. That was 6. Oh, that was 8 with a lot of smoke. That's the most boost this engine's ever made. I hit maybe 3,500 RPM. So it's working, but I think our fuel pressure set a little too high. It's putting out like 6 PSI at idle, and that's too much. This carburetor is really made to run like 2 or 3, if I remember correctly. It's a downdraft Weber, 3236 if you want to be particular. So we're gonna lower it a little bit, then we can do it again, but first, let's chop the hood. Don't mind me just scratching up every little piece of the MG I can. Oh, I got an undercover on here. That's gonna catch on like fire. Where'd I put those bolts? All right, I found some nuts and bolts, or should I say bolts and nuts. That got bent again. Huh. You're gonna have to take a hammer to it again, I suppose. Do you guys like the new mic setup? Audio is trash, so I upgraded with a Amazon DJI mic, so I hope you guys like it. It cost me quite a few shekels that I do not have, but I want this to be a quality video, so shut the hood and finagle it a little bit after we tighten it a little bit, and then finagle it some more, and then we'll finagle it some more. Now I can't exactly shut the hood. I forgot about that part. There's a turbo in the way. I'll yank it this way. That didn't do much. That's better, we'll say. This is in my way. Oh, it's so nicely glued in here too. What a shame. Turbo's more important. Oh, I probably shouldn't breathe this stuff. So we're gonna do this very precise and carefully. Somewhere around here. Ooh, sparks in my face. Gonna have to do something about that. Yeah! Whoopsies. Oh yeah, we need more up here for sure. Ow. We're gonna be dumping exhaust straight into the underside of the hood. May I introduce to you the cheapest wide band air fuel ratio gauge kit that I could find on Amazon. All it is a wire to go to the O2 sensor and a wire for power and ground, and whatever these are for. Doesn't really matter for my use. Fortunately, I already have the O2 sensor welded into the exhaust manifold here. Yes, I know I really should go after the turbo, but this will give us a rough idea. This is how I had it set up previously on the last one that I blew up, but we're gonna run it again until we finish the exhaust, and then we can reroute it and put it in its proper place to get a proper reading. For the time being, we're going to mount this. Actually, we're not going to mount it. We're just gonna hang it right here with the boost gauge, and they're going to hang out and be happy little friends that can fall over at any time they like. I have decided to send it straight through that hole that goes to our master cylinder, which very likely may just end up pinching the wires with a pedal or something, but here's one. I'll feed the second one up in here. Come on. Haha. I'll just tuck that guy right about there. All right, now I just need to find a power wire that turns on when the key is turned on, and it looks like we found one. When I turn this key, if I did everything right, it should, yeah, there we're talking. All right, that's pretty accurate on the throttle. Here's the desired pressure, which I want it right about there. It's getting a little dark, but I don't think that's any reason to not go for a quick test drive and see what kind of fuel ratio we're dealing with. All right, now we can see what the heck's going on. I'll have no idea what's going on, but you will. This hood is worse every time I do it. I think I just broke the hood again and my back. Ow. Oh, that's bad. Jeez. Oh no, our insulation's a bit gone. Well, I have officially melted the hood insulation. I probably should have seen that coming. Maybe that's the smoke that I was tasting. As much as I've enjoyed breathing exhaust fumes by the pound, I decided to buy an exhaust flange. I got it on eBay. I actually got the cheapest one I could find, but I don't have my knife on me, so we're gonna have to come up with some other way to open it. Not really sure what the best way might be, but oh, we might have hit the exhaust flange. I think we did, but she's open now. And this is our new downpipe. Barely skimmed her. Well guys, I was looking at this and I was looking at that and I was like, you know, those bolts look a little bit off. So I grabbed the gasket and I stuck it right here and realized, well, those holes don't line up at all. So I really hope the eBay seller will accept returns that have been shot with a 9mm, but I do suppose that he can now put on his marketing and advertisements that his flanges are quite literally bullet. Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. You can see it didn't even mess up the chrome plating on there. It's quite impressive for eBay. So yeah, we're gonna send that back and get the right one, and hopefully I can find one that fits this turbo. Oh, yep, that's on fire. All right, now we can see just how bad we scarred up the other side. Not as bad as I expected. Now, as we wait for our Rust-Oleum to dry, we got some brand new parts, courtesy of British Parts Northwest. What am I using this for? We got a bunch of upgrades for her. This car has 101 problems and we need to fix some things. One thing I'm super excited about is their brand new sway bar links. The old ones used a very, very outdated joint, and they upgraded it to a more modern one. You can see here that's not going to wear out. MGBs are not known for their handling. These wear out and they are absolutely sloppy as can be. So this is a huge upgrade and they're not that expensive. I'll put a link down below if you're interested. This is going to be huge. We've also got a speedometer cable. Now, hopefully, we'll actually have a working speedometer. It took Arnold Schwarzenegger to actually pull it shut. So our door handle was broken when we got the car. So we got some new door handles. We got a new window roll. Our cinder is absolutely done for. So now you can actually see what our oil pressure is. Thank God. Here's our fuel sending units, as well as some bulbs. We have no interior lights. When I open the door, it's just black. The last piece of the puzzle to make this thing drive like it should is a bag of candy. I love these guys. We have a oil filter, because the oil filter that's in it is anywhere from 20 to 40 years old. And if you remember previously driving in the rain, it was atrocious because we couldn't see anything. So we got some brand new chrome windshield wipers. They're gorgeous and they're not expensive either. All right, we're starting with the easiest and fastest upgrade first, which are these beautiful chrome wiper blades. Oh yeah, that is so much better. We're riding with some class now. I mean, just look at that thing. It's disgusting. So we're gonna swap this out and we're gonna put this four-way fitting over here on the block so that we can run our oil pressure gauge as well as our turbo oil inlet, as well as anything else that we may need to run off of that oil feed. All right, guys, we got it all fitted up. I have the four-way adapter down here and the new oil pressure sender. Let me show you how we did it. So you can see down here that I ran the four-way adapter right off of the oil feed, off the block. I blocked off one side. The other side's going to our new oil pressure sender. The other one is going up to our turbo. Now we just got to put our plumbing back on and see if she works. All right, let's see how she does. Yeah, we got oil pressure. Now we just need to fix our gauge real quick for the tachometer. There it is. Took the liberty of putting our air fuel ratio gauge from Amazon hanging by the wires above our non-working radio. Now let's see if it's leaking. And by if, I mean where. What to do. Okay, I'm not sure if that was there before. Nope, that's some fresh oil. Right there. Gotta tighten up some fittings, but I will get that done and we'll move on to the next thing. All right. I feel good on my back. I will take it. Oh, it's so much better. I figured out the leak. I'm gonna make it quick. I grabbed the line and it was loose, but the nut was all the way tight. And I was like, okay, maybe I threaded it wrong or something. And I tried it on another thread that I knew was the same one, and it would thread on halfway, just like that one, but the actual braided line would be loose. So I put it on the old oil pressure sender on the other MGB, and it threaded on perfect. I was like, what the heck? It's like, these are the exact same threads. They're 1/8. Why won't it go on? After 2 hours of racking my brain on this, I went to ChatGPT and it said, oh yeah, it's British standard thread. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyways, I ordered an adapter. It'll be here in 2 days, and then we won't leak anymore. Problem solved, but man, was that a headache and a half. Oh, hello. These are our new British standard thread adapters. We're gonna throw them on, get this thing up and moving. So last time I drove this, I inhaled enough exhaust to kill a chupacabra because the exhaust is running under the hood and into the cab. So we're gonna give a little choppy chop right here and there and bend it down, and that way it goes over the car instead of in it. Oh yeah. We are back. I put the adapter onto our oil feed line that's going to the turbo already. I didn't want to bore you guys watching me install that. And now it's not leaking. Well, much. It's not leaking as much. A drop here or there is okay. It's acceptable. That's within the tolerances of an MGB. So now is the time that we've all been waiting for. We're going to find out exactly how much boost you can make with a junkyard KO4 turbo on a little baby 4-cylinder from the 60s. But first, I need to change out our blow-off valve spring. It currently has a small one on it. This is also an eBay wastegate. Why do I keep saying wastegate? This is a Chinese blow-off valve that I have on here that I got off eBay for $20. And it came with 2 springs. They weren't rated to any particular pressure. There was just a light spring and a heavy spring. So we're gonna put the heavy one in it. My camera keeps cutting out and it is driving me up an absolute wall. If you remember, our wastegate is completely shut. We have it zip tied shut. And now our blow-off valve is at the highest pressure it will take. Fortunately, our carb is already set up pretty well for boost, and I have a larger jet in it for the secondary. So that way it gives it enough fuel for all the extra air that's gonna be forced into it, which will hopefully be 20 PSI, maybe 25, maybe 30, maybe 50. It's probably not gonna be 50 with that little thing. Let's pop this hood and get the spring swapped out. This hood is so much easier to open now. Whoa, how did that get in here? In case you guys didn't know, I have a website where I sell really cool original advertisements from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and I probably have your car in stock. It'll be linked down below. It'll be linked in the description, and just go see if we have yours. I don't know, I wanted a cool way to try and make a little bit of money instead of selling freaking t-shirts and crap, because that's... What's a politically correct word to use? This is hard. That's for nerds? Is that politically correct still? Kind of. Anyways, check it out. It's in the description. We got hundreds of prints. Might I add, I'm going to keep growing this business to have more products and other things. I want to really build a automotive brand that's different than anything else. Not just a bunch of giveaways and t-shirts and crap. I want stuff that's actually cool, classy, but really shows our passion for automobiles in a different way that's, you know, quality, not just cheap gimmicky stuff. I'm a man of quality. I like quality things, believe it or not. I guess this doesn't prove my point very well, but anyways, I just want to share that with you guys real quick. I'm going to keep adding to the collection. Right now I have collection 3 out. Collection 4 should be dropping soon. And yeah, I've already sold hundreds of them. So this isn't a new thing, but I just want to share it with you guys so you guys can support the channel without paying for some, you know, oh, background extra videos, behind the scenes. Like, I don't care about that. I'd never pay for that. I don't expect you guys to. So I'm going to sell you something you can actually hold in your hands, you can hang on your wall and be proud of, you know? There we go. So these are our springs. You can see this is the one we had in it that allows it to go to about 11 PSI. This one, which you can see is a bit thicker. All right, big boy going in. All right, we got it swapped out. My camera cut out while I was talking and installing it. After my camera cut out, I mentioned a project that I haven't told you guys about here. If you follow my Instagram, you know about it, but we're going to turbocharge a Grand Caravan from like 2012. So Max Peating Rods sent us a massive turbo to slap on it. I want to find out how much boost that crappy 3.6 liter Pentastar will take. I don't think it's definitely been done before, but I haven't seen a full build video because they're trash engines. They just blow up just for fun, like it's their hobby. So I'm gonna send it to its limits, do a halfway proper turbo and see how much it will take. And by halfway, I mean I'm gonna do it as cheap as possible and see what we can get away with, maybe using OEM fuel injectors. But needless to say, we are going to send a rod into the stratosphere on that van. I really wanna know what you guys want me to do to that van. I put it on Instagram and I said top comment wins for whatever I do to this van. The top comment was make it an El Camino. So we're gonna do that eventually. First, I'm gonna turbo it. And then before I blow it up, it'll be an El Camino. But I'm thinking like cartel caravan, like gun mounts, maybe pop out the roof or something. Let me know what you wanna see on that thing. It's going to be a wild build. I found this cool little guy at O'Reilly's. Oh, hey, the cigarette lighter might just hold that where it needs to be. Gold. All right, guys. We got oil pressure, got temp, air fuel ratio. Hey, we also have a tachometer that suddenly started working again. That's 5 PSI, and we're still sitting at 13.5. Oh, and there goes my blinker that likes to randomly come on. Everything seems to be happy. Happy, happy, happy. It sounds so good. Ah, it's beautiful. Yeah, buddy. All right, I saw 12. It's got more, I know it. Something doesn't smell good, but we're just gonna ignore that. There we go. Oh, that does not sound good. She is not liking this. Sounds like it's like misfiring a little bit. I do need to gap the plugs. Oh yeah, she's sputtering hard. Uh-oh, we must have lost a cylinder. Uh-oh. Maybe I'll give it a little clutch kick. This thing's either leaking boost or we just blew something. Maybe it's the fuel I'm running. I don't know if I have premium in this. That would be bad. We have a decent amount of smoke coming out of the hood. Oh, that's coolant. Where's coolant coming from? What? If you guys look right here, you can see there's coolant all over the cap, all over the wires. It's even on our brand new oil pressure sender. I have no idea where it's coming from. The quickest way to figure out if this is a blown head gasket is pull the spark plugs. If one of them is shiny and the others are not, then we will know. That looks a little too clean for how rich this engine runs. Yeah, that's what they all normally look like, is this. Also oddly clean. I think we have a blown head gasket. Say 040? This thing's been bored over? What? So we got some fresh Champion plugs from British Parts Northwest because the parts store never seems to have these in stock for whatever reason. They only have the NGKs. What we're gonna do now is get the spark gap to about 25 thou. What What we're doing is closing this gap a little bit. This is 35 thous from the factory. We want it to be 25 thou because more air and more fuel means it's harder for the spark to jump from there to there. So we're going to close it a little bit to make sure it gets good spark. On the last one, we actually put it on the dyno and I didn't gap the plugs before. So when I ran it the first time, it made, I don't know, 140 horsepower. Then I gapped the plugs because we noticed it was starting to get really ragged on the dyno chart for the horsepower reading. We were like, oh, the spark is cutting in and out. So we closed the gap and then it made 160 horsepower. So it really does make a difference. Just gonna close that gap a little bit. That's much closer. Then you can see it just fits in there real snug like. We have 25 thousandths on the right and 35 thousandths on the left. Small difference makes a huge difference in power when you're dealing with high boost applications. If you couldn't tell, our turbo piping is also from eBay. It came with an intercooler kit that I got. It was made for a Honda Civic. And to answer your question, yes, you are supposed to use an impact on every bolt you take on and off, including the spark plugs. All right, let's see how she runs with a flashlight in my face. PSI again. Yeah, that's all the boost she's got. All right, 12 PSI, that's the max. Something's not quite right. It definitely has more in it. Oh, and now it's trying to die on me. Uh-oh, that's not ideal. Oh well, we'll figure it out tomorrow. All right, guys, it is the next day, and I got some Octane booster. My theory is that I may have just blown the head gasket, given we have mystery coolant going everywhere inside the engine bay. But my theory is this still has 87 octane gasoline in it, and that's why it's not happy when it gets into boost. It could be detonating or something. So we're gonna fill it up with some Octane booster because it's got a pretty full tank right now, and then we're gonna let her eat and see if it makes more boost. I sure hope it does. And hopefully that will fix all of our problems. It probably won't, but we're gonna give it our best shot. All right, we have got 3 gallons of premium mixed in with our not so premium and a little bit of Octane booster. Seems happier already. All right, guys, she is not happy at all. She's dying on me. Yep, we're driving it back. It sounds bad. And it's overheating like crazy. I think we have a blown head gasket. Guys, this thing is knocking bad. It does not want to stay alive right now. We either just shot a valve or a piston or something. I have never heard popping like that before. Let's cut it off before it actually blows. You can see the coolant there. Not happy. They're still running at least. Oil looks good. Well, we'll check the plugs and see if my prediction from yesterday is accurate. A little dark. Cylinder number 3. A little dark. Cylinder number 2. Pretty light. Cylinder number 1. Also pretty light. With some yellow on it. Is that a sign of coolant? It's been in there for a total of 10 miles. Also gonna take this valve cover off and see if there's any carnage under here. I don't want to touch anything on this, it's so hot. Nothing seems too out of whack yet. Well guys, our MG is pretty much blown up. I think it needs a head gasket. My theory is the fuel I was running was not premium. I put a little bit in it before, but I think it was mostly 87, and that probably blew the head gasket, which I am quite a professional at doing at this point on MGBs. So while I wait for parts to get here, we're going to turbocharge what actually might be, I know I've said it before, what actually might be the worst engine ever made. That is the V6 Pentastar that Chrysler put in everything. So if you remember this guy, Max Peetingrud sent us a big old turbo to put on that van. So we're gonna see exactly how much boost you can make on that thing before it blows up. We're gonna dyno it if it survives, and we're gonna do it as cheap as possible per usual. I'm going to use as much OEM parts as I can. So that's the next video you're gonna see. We're gonna boost the balls off of that van as we do an engine rebuild on this guy, most likely, hopefully not, but most likely we'll be doing that, at least a head gasket. And then we're gonna boost the balls out of this one again. Then we're gonna put on the dyno, see how much power it makes, and then we're gonna put EFI on it and see what the power difference is and see if it's worth spending money on an EFI kit on something like this. And remember, perfection is the enemy of done. Go get your project running, just drive the thing, go oversteer something. See you guys next time.